Hey everybody, welcome to the SkyLounge, and this is Cruise Peruse, episode number 71. And as always, boys and girls, we are driving from the east to the west side of town, and on this beautiful Monday morning. And I know I do this almost daily except Sunday, because Sundays I don't really have a particularly long drive that I have to get done on the day. It's mostly just staying at home, smoking weed, having a couple of beers, celebrate America, because boys and girls, Women's World Cup is going on right now. The USA have officially booked their spot for the round of 16. Hooray, real easy shit. And you know what, I've made a point of this on the last episode, and I still want to make a point of it now. You know, people who honestly devalue the Women's World Cup, or you know, don't even give a, you know, even a smidgen of thought about it. I'll tell you one thing: if you enjoy soccer, you're gonna fucking enjoy the hell out of Women's World Cup. It is solid. You got great fucking ball movement. The way they handle you know, themselves on the pitch, just so much more disciplined than the men sometimes, especially on like fucking flopping. The whole thing with men's football, the most irritating thing to me is the blatant flopping that happens, and I want to slap the shit out of every male football that does that shit. It's fucking annoying. But at least the women, majority of them, they don't try to do that shit. What I have noticed are like countries like Argentina, Chile, a lot of the South American countries still do a lot of flopping, even on the women's level. But generally speaking, the adhering to the fundamentals. You know, some may call it boring. Oh, it's not flashy. She's not doing the two-step like Cristiano. Like, yeah, because the physicality is different. Like, you have to understand that. But at the same time, like, the fundamentals of how the ball moves from one side or the other to try to score a goal, it's the same fucking thing. So for me, I'm enjoying myself just watching football and watching these countries just go at it. And particularly a couple of countries to note here. Italy have booked themselves to the round of 16 as well. This is their first time in the World Cup since I believe it was it had to be 1999. That was the last World Cup Italy participated in for the Women's World Cup. They haven't qualified for the last few. So they're in, I believe, England, I want to say Sweden. I want to say England, Sweden, USA, Netherlands, Germany, Italy, not Spain, France. I know France for sure. Yeah, I think those are the only teams that are qualified to the next round, to go through to the next round. I could be mistaken. I do have to just double check just in case. But that, off the top of my head, that's what I can remember. But it's kind of crazy to just think, wow, that's awesome, man. 20 years of not having, you know, any kind of World Cup going on, and then you just fucking bounce in there. That's fucking awesome. So we're gonna get to see some wrap-ups, you know, throughout the week. I believe the round of 16 starts this weekend. I believe Saturday. And you know, boys and girls, I'm gonna be cheering on the USA. I mean, all the way. Got the USA hat. Ordered my Alex Morgan shirt, Nike, because you know I'm a whore for brands. I can't help it, boys and girls. But got my Alex Morgan shirt, ready to rep that shit out, and hopefully the USA can keep going, can keep that shit going, and just continue to drive hopes of Americans everywhere, young girls, you know, who watch this sport, get inspired, you know, do more, and hopefully for the USA Soccer Federation, and they see that, hey, there is this World Cup fever, yes, but there's also this bigger notoriety of women's football now, I believe, and I feel like this is a trend that should be happening. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, the optimism is strong. And boys and girls, speaking of optimism, my optimism, it wasn't shattered on Saturday, but you know, when you lose in a final, like a piece of your soul dies with you. And in the under-20 World Cup final, South Korea versus Ukraine, South Korea and both Ukraine in their first ever international final. Well, actually, I don't know about Ukraine, but this is their first under-20 World Cup final, as is Korea's. And Korea, again, have never been in a final in an internationally recognized tournament by FIFA. So this was a fucking treat for all the South Koreans. And unfortunately, despite, scoring on a penalty in the 5th or 4th minute of play, very early on, this was very early on, South Korea led 1-0. Then at halftime, right before halftime, draw 1-1. And in the last 20 minutes, unfortunately, South Korea concedes 2 goals to shoot themselves in the foot via poor defense and lose the match 3-1. And a lot has to be said about this match. The specifics of it, I can nitpick all day. But the reality of what this was for South Korea is a lot of things. First of all, Korea has never had a team in an international tournament reach 2nd place, ever. And I could be mistaken, but from what I have seen throughout my years watching Korean football, so first things first, South Korea does have a mandatory enlistment thing that they have for young men, I believe until age 35. I could be mistaken on that, but it is a mandatory enlistment because South Korea and North Korea are still an active war zone, and so all male Korean citizens are obliged to, enlist because of that. And it's a 2-year mandatory service. But I believe if you win a sport, within a sport, if you place within the top 3, so medals, like within the Olympics, Asian Games, or even, World Cup situations like these, yeah, you get relieved of those duties, so you don't have to do those mandatory 2 years. So for those young Korean kids, under 20 kids who just won us a silver, they don't have to do the military shit, which is awesome on them. They don't have to fucking more or less throw away 2 years of their lives. And I'm not berating the military on any way, but the way Korean military kind of works out, you're basically doing chores for 2 fucking years and you don't get paid. All right, that's pretty much it. Yeah, you get paid, but not to the extent that you think in the USA. It's probably less than 10% of that shit. But these kids, what they've also done is just inspire hope for a nation that's so small. I mean, South Korea is a peninsula, a very small country, and for such a country that honestly didn't really have football in their hearts until really 2002, when that insane World Cup run we went on to reach 4th place. Never has it really shown to, that emotion of passion and emotion. Never have we seen it flourish and realized until now. And I could be speaking just as hype, but it was unbelievable. I teared up a lot during Saturday, and it wasn't because of the loss. It was right when the Korean team was up receiving their silver medals. I teared up because it was the most beautiful thing to watch. This is a country that I've had no expectation for them winning anything in an international tournament, and for them to do something, a year after my dad passed away, who loves Korean football, man. Like, he was the fucking guy who turned me on to this shit and said, our country is gonna be good one day. And I completely bought the hype. I was on the train with them, like, we're gonna get there one day. We're gonna fucking get there one day. We're gonna, mark ourselves on the global stage one day. Never thought I never thought it would be this soon. I never thought, they would even make any sort of mark. And I know a lot of you assholes are probably thinking, oh, 2nd place is fucking meaningless. It's a country that had nothing before that in terms of international tournaments. It's a lot. It means a fucking lot. And to the Ukraine, I always say, during the match, I was so pissed off. I was berating Ukraine players, and you can see it on social media. I don't fucking hide that shit. You can go on my Twitter feed. Everything that was frustrating me about the match, I was putting it on the fucking text. But the reality is, once the match is over, I'm like, you know what, man, it was a good game. They beat us fair and square, and South Korea just left a couple of things on the table. I think, the commentator made a point It was frustrating to watch their first half just kind of complacent, letting Ukraine take all those shots, get inside their third. But at the end of it, Ukraine did such a spectacular job. And for that nation, how wonderful is it? That's their first World Cup win too. First appearance in a final. Their best finish before that was around a 16. So again, I'm very happy for them. Very glad that, you know, they get to experience that. And Korea, yeah, I wish we won first place. But like I've said, winning that second place means a lot. It means a lot to this country. And now, don't quote me on this, boys and girls, but I read this more or less thank you letter from the South Korean president to the under 20 South Korean squad. There was a bit of an incident in South Korea. I don't know the exact details, but it was this kind of negative incident that happened in Korea over the weekend or over the last few weeks, I guess. And for the president, what he was saying was it was nice to have the boys play so well and take our minds off of such a disheartening and troubled time. And you know what? I just think what those kids were able to do on the pitch and really in that tournament was inspiring. And they got a hero's welcome. They got a hero's welcome when they flew back into Korea yesterday. Everybody at the airport just taking pictures, congratulating them. And yeah, again, this is the same fucking team, a couple years ago, the 2014 World Cup, men's, just general men's World Cup. We were so terrible. We were so fucking terrible that when they got back in Korea, Koreans threw toffee at the head coach and the players. So the expression is 연먹어, so toffee, eat toffee. And 연먹어 basically means fuck you in Korean, and that's one of the worst fucking things you can say to somebody. So that, 5 years ago, that with that gesture happening, never would I have thought, Korea getting a hero's welcome after placing second in a World Cup tournament. And I know it's an under 20 World Cup tournament, but again, it's something special that these guys have done. Not to mention the golden ball winner of the entire tournament, meaning the best player in the tournament for the under 20 World Cup was none other than Lee Gang-in, our Korean midfielder, number 10, who plays in Valencia, not even fucking 19. I believe he's 18 or 19, but seriously, not even 20. This kid wins the golden ball, and notable award winners, prior to Gang-in, years back, Messi, Aguero, Pogba. And I know I berate Messi all the time, but these are some big names. These are some huge hyped up names, especially for Koreans who may casually watch football. But I take that with a grain of salt, because I've also seen other golden ball winners in the under 20 World Cup just turn to nothing. But with the right development, with the right moves, with the right time on the pitch, I believe this kid's going to be special. He can lead South Korea to greatness. And honestly, our South Korea is getting better. We're getting better each and every year. And I don't know, man. I have a lot of hope and optimism for the future with South Korea, especially because of that. And yeah, when our young Korean boy gets, compared to guys like Pogba, Aguero, and, obviously Messi, it's fucking hype, man. It's fucking hype as shit. And, speaking of Messi, the Copa America is going on this weekend, boys and girls. And I'll tell you what. Oh, puppies, I'm sorry. Took a quick break there. The Copa America on Saturday match was awesome. It was the Colombia versus Argentina match. And fun story, boys and girls. I was actually in a Colombian restaurant with my Colombian jersey, because one of the only South American countries I support in football is Colombia. I used to actually like Chile, but when it came down to it, Alexis Sanchez leaving just left a huge indent in the heart there. And so I figured, there's only one country I'll cheer for. It's Colombia, and it's mainly because of their football. The way they play their football, very free, very movement friendly, and it's very pleasing to watch. And I'm watching this match against Argentina and Colombia in this restaurant. I'm the only Asian dude just watching this shit, but I celebrated like a fellow countryman Colombia. I don't know why, because I listen, I genuinely don't like Argentina. I don't like the arrogance that they carry with all those fucking Argentinian fans. Argentina fans, like the irrationality behind them sometimes. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Messi's the greatest. I'm like, cool. Yeah, great. Has he won an international tournament yet? No? Alright, cool. Call me when he does. But the players, the players are shit, and that's on the federation. Seriously, that's on the fucking federation for, being complacent, recognizing that, oh, Messi's our best player, he's the only one we need. Like, no, you fucked up. Blame that on your federation, man. Like, don't even fucking try to give me that, pouty story and shit. I have no sympathy for Argentina. You guys are the fucking cocksuckers that won with the handball. Honestly. Maradona is kind of a cunt. I don't really care for Messi. I mean, he's a great player, but not my player. Not my kind of player. Not my favorite. But yeah, it was a pleasure. It was an absolute pleasure to watch Argentina fall completely 2-0. Just wonderful stuff there. And hopefully Argentina gets knocked out of the tournament early. That's my sincere hope. And we may just see a lot of grown-ass men crying, which is, I mean, obviously, I went through that, so it's fine. It's okay if you cry, boys and girls, and boys. But Monday is going to mark a very interesting day in Canada, out of all countries, boys and girls, because today is the day the Toronto Raptors will be having their parade in Toronto for the NBA championship. I know, it took forever. It feels like fucking forever ago that they won it. But that's it. They're about to celebrate with a huge fucking parade in Canada land. And good on them. They absolutely deserve it. And, with Canada land just being all optimistic, there's another land that has grown a bit with optimism over the last few days. And boys and girls, I'm willing to admit, and I've even made a video about this, I was pretty upset when the trade for Anthony Davis happened between the Los Angeles Lakers and the New Orleans Pelicans. But over the weekend, I kind of sat about it. Yeah, I sat on it, thought about it. Oh my God, I can't even fucking speak, man. Pizza got me fucked up from yesterday, so I can't really think proper. But boys and girls, Anthony Davis is a Lakers. Anthony Davis is a Laker. I can't believe it. I fucking can't believe it. And I'll just tell you what. I'm okay with this. It hurts. Lonzo was my guy. I really loved him. I really loved watching his game. But the nature of any sport is, you can't get too attached. It's all about winning. So hopefully the Lakers within the next few years can have one of those nice little parades that Canada Land is getting today. So here's to fucking hoping, and here's hoping AD and the fucking LeCancer can do something for the Lakers. So boys and girls, follow me at the Sky Lounge, and all the links in the description below for more bullshit like this. Like, comment, subscribe for more daily content. Because seriously, guys, a whole fucking 18-inch fucking size of pizza yesterday. So I'm fucked up. I gotta get some rest. But until then,